Hi.
Star Wars Visions Volume 3 is now available on Disney Plus. This is our spoiler review. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Father Son Galaxy. I am Kerwin. This is Keith.
What's up, guys?
All right. So we've got 9 more brand new episodes, right? So remember, season or volume 1 was back in 2021.
2021.
Yeah. How about that?
It's been like 4 years.
Uh,
They
yeah.
release seasons more consistently than Stranger Things has.
Okay. So if you recall, Keith, I know it was a long time ago, but we interviewed James Waugh and Kanako Shirosky, I think her name is, and the executive producers. And one of the questions that you asked James was there going to be a season 2? And if it was going to be brand new episodes or going to be sequels to season 1 or volume 1. And he didn't know. But here, look, out of the 9 episodes, 3 of them are sequels. Pretty cool. You don't remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember the question. I just only remember 2 sequels, but yeah, that's my fault.
Well, actually, so there's 3. So there's the Duel, and there's the Ninth Jedi, and then the one we were just talking about, which is the Lost Ones, which is a sequel to the Village Bride. So we'll get to that. All right. So let's get started. All right. So the first episode. Oh, you want to introduce the first episode?
Yeah. First episode is The Duel Payback by Kamikaze Duga and Anima.
All right. So this is the first sequel. All right, of the 3.
And the first episode.
Now, the first the Duel was the first episode of season 1. That was great. That was really good. And from, I think from, our feedback and the feedback that Lucasfilm has received from other viewers is that the Duel was probably one of the best episodes of Volume 1. So of course they brought that back for a sequel. Now, I could say that the sequel is not as good as the first. I actually thought it was off to a good start. Having Ronan back and, going up against the Grandmaster or Droid Jedi, which is interesting to see. But then it brought in the Ewoks, which seemed out of place for me. So I don't know what you think. So I don't know if you have any comments about that, but the Ewoks just seemed out of place. And then the last few minutes of the episode was just completely taken out of Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
So just flinging traps at people and stuff and shooting spear slingshot things.
Yeah. Everything we saw in Return of the Jedi, we see it in this episode. It wasn't, as far as originality, there wasn't that much there, at least towards the ending. But again, the duel between Ronan and the droid I thought was very cool. That's the first episode. All right.
Next up, we got the Song of Four Wings by Project Studio Q.
Okay. Now, this one had an opening crawl, just like you would with any Star Wars film. So this is the Empire and a snowy planet. We've seen this before. What could possibly go wrong with the Empire on a snowy planet?
A lot.
Yeah. And then the lead character, actually, I didn't put the name of the lead character, but I felt she reminded me so much of Rey.
Yeah.
Because she was on the speeder.
And Rey, but a character.
Yes. Rey. Yes. I don't know what that means.
She had more like characterization in this short than Rey does.
Okay. All right. Explain that. Do you have something to say about that?
No.
Okay. All right.
It's just that the sequels could have done more with her. But that's not what we're talking about right
now. No, it's not what we're talking about. Again, she just reminded me so much of Rey. I think it was the
goggles too.
Yes, the goggles, and then the costume that she was wearing. It looked very much like Rey. And then she also had an astromech droid. Which was pretty cool. And then she's just on this speeder bike and she's going to this village where it's been destroyed by the Empire. And she's trying to figure out, okay, well, why did the Empire destroy this village and what are they after? She finds out that she does find survivors on this village and that the Empire is digging for coaxium. Yeah. What was also nice to see were the Imperial walkers. Well, these are actually, with gadgets. So it wasn't just the Imperial walkers that you see in The Empire Strikes Back, but it was pretty cool. There were some gadgets. There was some weapons within weapons on this machine.
I mean, these stories are not canon to Star Wars, from what I understand, which is great for some of them and not so great for others, because I'd love to see some of these stories continued. But this one, if we just had walkers whipping out like all these attachments
Yeah.
in regular Star Wars, it would get a little bit chaotic.
Yeah, right, and probably unrealistic, right? For a
Yeah,
live action, but I thought it was pretty cool. It was something that we've never seen before. So
it was unexpected too.
this is what these stories are supposed to do: give us something that we've never seen before, right? So that was pretty good. And then there is this creature. I don't know if you ever heard of it,
Yeah, a
but
little marketable guy.
yeah, called a whoopa, a whoopas.
Yeah.
I wrote down whoopa. It's a Gagoran. Is one of the, I think, survivors of that village destroyed by the Empire. It turns out that this Wumpa has force abilities. I don't know if you picked up on
I
that,
think
but that was
Lupus is his name.
oh, Whoopas is the name. Okay, right, that makes sense. Whoopa is the name, and the species is Gagoran.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So this Lupus guy is just kind of the stand-in for Baby Yoda.
yeah,
Like, think about it. This is kind of like Mando season 1,
yeah,
down to fighting walkers and stuff.
right. Because there was a point where
Force-sensitive little marketable cute creature with big eyes,
yes, right.
riding on a speeder bike.
Right, and there was a point where the lead character was actually had no idea how she was going to get out of this mess that she was in, but it turned out that she had help from Whoopas and the Force sensibilities. So that was pretty cool. Okay, if you want to say anything else about episode 2,
I hope they make plushies of him, because
okay,
I
yeah,
will buy
well,
one.
I think yeah, pretty cool character. Who
Yep.
knows? Number 3.
The Ninth Jedi: Child of Hope by Production IG.
Okay, this is the second sequel, right? So the Ninth Jedi, in my opinion, from Volume 1, was the best of the short stories.
I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. If just a reminder, the character Kara has a father who's a swordsmith, right? He creates lightsabers for Jedi. He is kidnapped, and she spends the the episode looking for her father. Didn't find him, and
Oh, she got left
yeah, all right, maybe
in
I'm,
the
I'm
second episode.
misremembering.
I mean,
Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
I just remembered that. It's kind of crazy because she was outside the ship and they just left.
right, right. And then so this picks up where Kara is still on the search for her father. Um, there's a droid character, Tito, right? That reminded me of, actually reminded me of a couple of characters. It reminded me of Ari from
Galaxy of
Galaxy of
Creatures,
Creatures.
right?
Also reminded me of Wally
Reminded
uh,
me of Dio.
or Dio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that skittery old robot from
yeah, that's
Rise of
right.
Skywalker.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, that's a good one.
I feel like I could kick that droid. He's a very kickable droid, which is something I haven't said before.
Okay, so it's a
It's just
droid
like I just want to, yeah,
because he's small.
kinda.
Okay, all right. Yeah, and so this droid actually, Tito, is looking for his master.
Yeah. So there's this
Um,
little like cave in, and then Tato got caught on the other side of it, and he can't get in to save his master. The guy's dead by the time they open the doors. It had been a while, so
yeah,
he was very dead.
yeah, and I don't think Tito realized that his master is no longer living.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
until it was too late.
right, right. But of course, you got the Empire coming after Kara because there's a price on her head. Um, and I thought I wrote down the amount. It was just this huge amount of credits that they were looking for. Um, okay, I don't have it written down, but anyway, so they're looking for her. They couldn't find her. Um, you know, it, to me, this episode was actually, again, thinking back to the first season, The Ninth Jedi, I felt was very cinematic. And to me, it just felt like the most, it could be live action. It could have been a movie. I feel the same way about the sequel. I thought the sequel was very well done. It did not disappoint. The music is outstanding.
I agree.
Yeah, it's a very cinematic score, very dramatic. Um, so I need to go and look up that composer. But yeah, the music was something about this music in this episode was just off the charts for me. And then there was this sacrifice that took place with Tito and trying to make sure Kara gets away alive so that she can continue the search for her father. But the sacrifice, if you remember, it had reminders of the Last Jedi. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, with the Holdo maneuver, where we see this big explosion and it's just silence, dead silence. There's nothing except the explosion that you hear. No music, nothing else. Um, it's still very dramatic to see something like that happen, especially to a droid like this who, you know, was disappointed that his master wasn't even alive, and he felt, well,
Poor guy.
he was going to sacrifice his life to save hers because she had a mission. She's a Jedi. She needed to find her father, and then she was going to, you know, do great things. She was going to save the world, once she finds her dad.
That is bad design to have the button to launch the escape pod on the outside of the pod.
Mm-hmm.
Because, then you gotta hop out and then hit it and then jump in.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then what was interesting at the end of the episode, we got to be continued. So that's interesting. So there is this. I'm going to say it's a rumor because Lucasfilm, as far as I know, has not confirmed that there is going to be a standalone short series or limited series based on the Ninth Jedi.
I wouldn't be mad if there was.
Oh yeah, I think if there was any one of those episodes that if they only had a choice to do one of those episodes, it would be this one. So well done with the sequel to the Ninth Jedi,
I
Child
agree.
of Hope.
I think this one's probably like the least canon breaking. So if they were to incorporate this into the rest of the Star Wars universe, I think that'd be great.
Oh, meaning that it's original. Like it doesn't have to follow the canon because the story is really truly an original story. Is what you mean?
No, I just mean like if you were to put this alongside the other like canon Star Wars projects, it would fit in.
Oh, okay, all right, okay, I got you. Well, yeah, it would because there is an empire, there's a Jedi, and there are bounty hunters looking for the Jedi. So that's typical of Star Wars, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
good point. All right, so that's the Ninth Jedi, Child of Hope. Moving on.
We got The Bounty Hunters by WIT Studio.
WIT Studios. Okay, now this is a story about a bounty hunter named Sven. She is hired by this businessman to find insurgents. All right. Um,
He's a very shady guy.
yeah, he seems very shady, but he has a lot of credits, and he offers her tons of money to find these people. And she does find them, and it turns out that they're not insurgents, but they're actually former slaves of this businessman fleeing him, trying to, restore their freedom. So this bounty hunter
Yeah,
actually
obviously she
finds out,
flips.
yeah, actually finds out the truth from these people as to exactly who this businessman is. And then she goes back and challenges him. And then it's very interesting. Now, let's talk about this droid. The droid has, I don't know
Split
why I didn't write down
personality.
the name of I can't believe I didn't write down the name of the droid. All right. So,
Droid man.
Droid Man gives off, he reminds me of K2SO, right? But he has a split personality. So what they did was they took a medical droid and created or put in, I guess, the memory of an assassin droid.
So
You know
now
what I
he's
mean?
just like kind of switching between the two.
Yes, right. And you don't know when it's going to happen. It's almost like a Jekyll and Hyde type thing. Like, okay, well, the medical droid, he's there to save you, and then all of a sudden, he's there to kill
It's
you,
like
type of
Banner
thing.
and Hulk.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He could hurt you and then administer first aid. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. They can do the opposite. Right. Yeah. So it was very interesting. I like the droid. I like the how the voice changes. When it's the medical droid, he's very calm and you know, uh, you know, very intellectual. Then all of a sudden, he's like "Roar, roar, roar," type
Yeah,
of
like the
thing.
cop
Yeah.
from the Lego movie.
Right. Yeah. So I like the droid. The droid was pretty good in that one. So this was a good one too. The Bounty Hunters.
All right. So on to our next one, number 5. We have Yuko's Treasure by Kinema Citrusco.
Okay. Now this takes place on Tatooine.
As
Uh,
is everything these days.
Yeah, well, this is a familiar place, Tatooine, and this is nice because you get to see some of the locations of Tatooine. Right? They go to
Huh?
I believe they went to the is it Beggar's Canyon? That I thought I saw something that looked like that. There was a cantina that they were actually entered. So this Yuko is she's an orphan, right? She's lost her parents.
Reminds me of Luke.
Yep. Well, there you go. And then there are pirates that are looking to steal treasure owned by Yuko's parents, right? And then Yuko's helped by another orphan named Solo, or Solu, Solu. Solu um, is an orphan who goes to warn her that there are bounty hunters after her.
Yeah,
And then,
after he tipped them off.
well, right, that's true, right? So he,
He
I
realized
guess
he made the wrong choice.
as an orphan, he's trying to survive. He's trying to make credits for himself, and he really actually gives up her location and then realizes that her life is in danger. Then he goes back and tells her, oh, well, these bounty hunters that I tipped off are now after
Yeah,
you.
that's a bit dense, isn't it?
Yeah, right. And then there's this teddy bear named Billy. Uh, it's a droid that looks like a teddy bear. Now you talk about like a holiday gift. I would love to have something like this. You
You know,
know?
this is very marketable.
Yeah. And then
I'm seeing numbers here.
there you go. And what's interesting about this droid is, well, they reprogrammed it to be evil.
Yeah, they called
And
him Darth Teddy.
I gave that nickname Darth Teddy because I think it wore a helmet similar to a Darth Vader, and it went around and it started going after the kids until the kids were able to switch the droid's memory back. But that was pretty interesting. That was Billy.
Yep.
All right, Darth Teddy. And then again, more bounty hunters looking for this treasure, which doesn't really even exist. Well, it exists, but they couldn't find what they were looking for. So, okay, let's move on.
Yep. Next up, we have The Lost Ones by Kinema Citrus Co.
Yeah, so this is the sequel to The Village Bride, all right, from Volume 1. Now, just to go back and talk a little bit about Volume 1, the lead character, her name is F. She is a Jedi, but she didn't want to reveal herself until it was absolutely necessary. And then we know a little bit about her backstory, where she had a master that she lost. The master died, and she's been on this journey pretty much by herself. Trying to make the right decisions. Without having a mentor. So now here we are in the sequel, and she is with a group of other people, and they're protecting her because she is on the run, and the Empire are looking for her. This episode was, I would say, the most dialogue heavy, and there were like, and then I'm telling you, this character dropped some knowledge. Excuse me. She drops some knowledge to these little kids, and I just want to talk about the Empire's propaganda, where they have now brainwashed people to believe that the Jedi are the evil ones, and then they were the ones that started the war. So you have kids like 5, 6 years old who are hearing this story, and they're coming to her and saying, "Are you a Jedi? Aren't the Jedi the evil ones? Didn't the Jedi start the war? And when I grow up, I want to be a member of the Empire." And then she's very polite, and there's some things that she said to them, and I wrote it down. I wanted to say this. She says, "Getting older isn't the same as growing up. Gather lots of experiences, and you will truly grow up. Study things for yourself so you can make your own decisions. Knowledge and experience complement imagination. That helps you notice things you haven't seen before. There is more to reality than what we see. Not everything seen is true. On the other hand, there are some things you can believe in even if you can't see them. Evil takes advantage of people's ignorance, and conflict fosters ignorance. Suspicion eats away at people and eventually leaves wounds on one's heart." Wow.
Bars.
So that was pretty cool. Pretty good information. So now, again, the Empire finds her, and they take her onto the Star Destroyer.
Into a portal to
Yeah.
another planet.
Yeah, this is very interesting because, this is something that you weren't expecting, right? So she's on the Star Destroyer, and they get her through these blast doors, and she walks out the blast doors, and she is on this planet. Like, she just went through a portal, and she's on this planet. And who does she see? Her master that she thought has been dead all this time. His name was Shah Ra, but he now goes by the name Zero. And once again, he is also believing the Empire's propaganda. He says that the Jedi were misguided. It was their mistakes that brought about the war. and he wants,
He got brainwashed,
yeah,
like Bucky.
yeah, and he wants F to join her as an apprentice to defeat the Jedi. And F is not going to have any of that. So I thought it was a very good story. And once again, um, it really depends on who holds the power. The people usually holding the power are the ones that get to say whatever it is they want to say, whether it's true or not, and they're the ones that are able to manipulate people to believe, what they believe in. So,
Yeah.
very good episode, The Lost Ones.
All right. Next up, we have The Smuggler by Trigger.
All right, The Smuggler. This, in my opinion, was my favorite episode of the season. All right, it has everything. This is the studio behind The Twins and The Elder from Volume 1. This has everything you would want in a Star Wars series. It's got Jedi. It has the hotshot pilot. It has royalty. It has bounty hunters. It has some familiar places that we've seen before. It's got the Empire. This is a great story. So basically, and it has a great narration. So it really sets the tone and it tells you exactly what is happening. There is this royal family that has been either taken hostages or destroyed by the Imperials, but the prince was able to flee and he is on the run. So now we have this elder lady who is looking for a pilot, and she finds the pilot and she tells them, well, there's some cargo, there's two people, and she's going to pay her some money to fly these two people off world.
Elsewhere.
Yeah. And it turns out, of course, it's not as easy as it sounds because the Imperials and the Stormtroopers are everywhere.
Yeah, just
And
doing evil deeds for fun.
yeah, and they
Just
do.
because they can.
Right, exactly. No particular reason. They're terrorizing the citizens of the planet. Knocks down this poor mother who is trying to reach out to her child. But then the Jedi steps in, and we see her wield this lightsaber, and she's like got one hand behind her back, and she's got the other hand with the lightsaber, and she's deflecting the blasters, and she is just
Cutting
knocking them
through them.
out, knocking them out. And then you also have the prince, who also got some moves. He's got some skills where he's kicking and chopping his way around and takes care of the Imperials, and then they run to the ship, right? And they take off, and I'm watching this and I'm looking at, wow, this looks so eerily similar to what is happening right now in politics, right? It's just sad to see. And I know that maybe the filmmakers had no idea we'd be where we are, at least in the United States. Um, but these, the Jedi and the pilot and the prince, they get on the plane and they fly off to Yavin 4. So the prince has decided that he's going to join the rebellion. And he also asked the pilot who got him there to actually come with him. And she does, and they take off, and that's the episode.
Mm.
Wonderful episode. That was pretty cool.
Then we move on to The Bird of Paradise by Polygon Pictures.
Yes, The Bird of Paradise. Okay, so this was a very difficult story to tell. And that is because when you have just the one character in the entire story carrying this story is very difficult to do. Now, it reminds me of this movie. I know you probably haven't seen it. It came out in the early 2000s called Castaway. All right, starring Tom Hanks. So he played a FedEx delivery person. He was getting on a plane to deliver a package overseas. The plane runs into turbulence and it crash lands on an island. He is the only survivor of the plane, and he now has to figure out, how am I going to survive with nothing? Like he's going to have to learn how to start a fire. He has to learn how to hunt for food, and he's there for many years. 75% of this movie is just on Tom Hanks on this island. And you're thinking like, okay, well, this doesn't sound very exciting,
Mm.
but it is. It's compelling. And the reason why it is because you have an actor with the caliber and the talent of Tom Hanks to keep you engaged. What I think was missing in the story is we didn't have that kind of character. I didn't know anything about her. I didn't understand. I knew she was going through something. Her, having some trauma there, but it didn't really give me enough to care about her. I actually thought she came off as whiny.
Yeah.
So this
Whiny.
this episode did not work for me.
And
And
she's blind.
yes, right. So she has a deficiency. Um, but again, I don't know anything about this character. Like, well, how did we get here? What happened? I think they gave a little backstory, but it wasn't enough for me. Whereas, for with a short story, I understand there's only so much you can tell, but I think it was necessary to have that. Or it could have been more than one character in the short story. Just having her, for the most part, be the character just didn't work.
Mm. Now we're on to 9 Black by David Production.
Okay, this was the last episode. Now, this was very interesting. I remember seeing, I don't remember where I saw it, but I saw a clip of this episode, and it's kind of like an interpretive, visuals.
It's a music video.
Yeah,
One could say.
yeah. But so what what I didn't understand was the visuals to me seemed, again, trauma. That there's this stormtrooper who is reliving the war that he's gone through, and he's witnessing death and destruction.
To music.
Yeah, but yet the music that's playing is an upbeat jazz soundtrack. So it didn't really make sense to me. Like, okay, well, we're seeing, tragedy in this storyline, but you got this upbeat jazz music and the trumpets are playing.
Yeah, that's
I
like
didn't
if
get
they
it.
set the opening scene of The Force Awakens to the Mos Eisley Cantina music.
Yeah. So I thought the visuals looked great, but I just I was just thrown off by the music. Yeah.
I didn't get it at all.
Yeah.
I might just be dense, but yeah.
No, that's okay. It's interpretive. So it's like going to a museum, you're looking at a painting. I'm going to see something different than what you see. So this is what I saw. This is what you saw. And, maybe somebody else saw something else and thought it was brilliant, so I'm not, you know what I mean?
I don't know why you said it like that.
I saw it as something different. That's all I'm going to say.
It's interesting.
Yeah. So those are the 9 episodes of Visions Volume 3. Let us know what you think. What was your favorite, and do you disagree with some of the what we had to say with some of the episodes? Let's just have a conversation and talk about it. Okay.
Speak to us.
Yes.
Give us engagement.
Very good.
And money.
We love it. Yes, we'll take both. Yes. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into this episode. Keith, where can people find us?
You can find us wherever you get your podcast. Socials are Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fatherson Galaxy. Our website is fathersongalaxy.com. Please check out our merch store, fathersongalaxy.myspreadshop.com. Did I say Patreon?
Not yet.
Patreon page is fathersongalaxy.com.
Okay.
So, yeah.
/Patreon.
/Patreon.
All right. So thank you, everyone, once again.
Patreon.com/fathersongalaxy. I got it in the wrong order. Don't worry about it. Just Google us, and then
you'll find it. Money. Yes, you'll find it. Yes. So thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Give if you feel the need to give, of course. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this spoiler review of Star Wars Visions Volume 3. Until next time, take care, and we will see you again.